Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be working on getting better at art. These are going to be the new style of video that are going to make up the majority of videos on this channel, where I basically pick something I want to work on it and show you guys the process so you guys can learn with me or give me tips that I can share with the rest of you. Today I'm going to be doing gesture, so I'm going to be working on trying to get as much movement into my drawings as possible, because that is a very frequent occurrence where I don't have enough movement in my drawings, and that's why they look very rigid and ultimately just don't look like people. These aren't proper gesture drawings as you might have seen, they're more just me trying to include more movement and focus on capturing the movement of a reference image. As you can see, lots of the movement is lost from the reference image to my drawing, and I was trying to identify why that was happening and just trying to make it stop, trying to improve in that regard. The main problem with why I lose so much movement when I'm drawing is because I tend to under accentuate the flex of the torso and the hips and the legs, and so, but mainly in the torso, sort of between the shoulders and the hips, the flex there, I usually have it incredibly rigid. As you can see in these ones, between the shoulders and the hips, there is very little movement. It's almost like you can just draw a straight line from the middle of the shoulders to the middle of the hips, and it will just go through the middle of all of it. In all the drawings I just wouldn't follow the line of action properly with the rest of the body. I just almost fit the body over the line of action instead of following it. And you can really see this here, where I actually changed the line of action from the first drawing to the second one to make it less curvy, to try and make my drawing match the line of action, instead of changing my drawing to match the line of action, which is what I really needed to do. Moving on to this next few drawings, it was a new day and I had looked over my other drawings and was trying to identify what exactly I was doing wrong, and that's where I came up with these points that I've already told you. This reference image wasn't a very good reference image for me to choose, because you can't actually see the body very much, it's just clothes. So if you're going to choose reference images, don't be like me. Don't pick a cool image because it looks cool and it looks like it has lots of movement. Pick something like the lower down ones in the earlier drawings, earlier pictures, where you can actually see the body and you can actually identify lines of action and more clearly just draw from your reference without all the clothes getting in the way and not allowing you to see what you need to see. Here you can see I pretty much draw a line of action and then just trace around the body, so that I can, instead of just drawing what I think I see, I can actually draw what I do see and compare that to then a drawing of that I don't trace, and just more get a feel of how I can convert the reference into a drawing when I then do drawings without a reference or without tracing the references. See what I mean? You can see that when I do trace, there's so much more movement because obviously I'm forced to follow the movement of the original drawing. I found this reference image really interesting because of how she's twisting and her hips and her shoulders are at different orientations. It already conveys a sense of movement, and it means that the line of action is more curved than her body is, because how she's turning, it's almost like there's action in the turn as well as just what she's doing at the movement. So that's why that reference image looks so action-packed, and why the drawings where I trace over look so much more full of action, is because not only is she moving, she's also got the twist in there, so there's just another layer of movement for me to draw. I go back over some of the original ones after doing that last one, because that last one really taught me a lot about the line of action. Going into this more free drawing where I'm actually drawing, not tracing, it is from reference again though, I don't have the picture on the page, which is something I need to remember to do for next time, so you guys can see the drawing that I'm making, the drawing that I'm drawing from, so you can see the difference between my drawing and the reference. And you can also see how when I'm drawing it originally, before I edit it and move stuff around, how different it is. Even though it looks very similar, it's got so much difference. You can see I'm already adjusting it to make it curve more. You can see that small tweak made it so much more fluid. The arms also play a very big role in the movement of a piece. You can see when I add in the arms and when they actually follow the line of movement in a natural way, it adds so much more movement to the piece in its total. You can also see that I rotated it even more, and again that improved it so much. And then I just rotated the head back a little bit so that it was still lining up and it wasn't just leaning over. Making sure that the head is properly lined up and orientated makes the piece seem so much more grounded. If the head's off and at a different angle, it will kind of make the entire piece look odd. Again, I rotate from the hips a little bit more so it doesn't look unnaturally curved over. So he's curving over from multiple places, so his spine is flexing in multiple places to add to that movement. You can see that the line of action, if you imagine the line of action, it's so much better and so much clearer in this piece than some of my other pieces where they're just standing up in a rigid position, even if they look like they're in movement. Because there's no flex in the spine, it just looks rigid. Because if you think of when you're running, your spine is constantly flexing, you're never going to have a straight spine. And that's what I was missing in lots of my drawings. For me, that is the key takeaway, to make sure that the spine is flexed in some way or another so that the drawing doesn't look so rigid. If any of you have any other tips, please make sure to share them in the comments. I would love to hear what you guys think of these drawings, and if any of you are trying to do the same thing that I'm doing, I'd love to hear your experiences. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss more videos like this. There will still be lots of other videos where I'm just drawing stuff and other drawing tutorials like a griffin or a dragon or something. And until next time, I'll see you later. Have a great day.